Spider-Man: Far From Home has officially swung into theaters. Marvel Studios and Sony decided to get a jump on the competition at the box office heading into the 4th of July holiday weekend by releasing the latest solo Spidey adventure early in the week. That just means eager fans can check out the action sooner, and those who are surely aware that there are indeed a couple of post-credit sequences in the movie which are huge and definitely worth discussing. Massive spoilers ahead for Spider-Man: Far From Home. Those who haven't seen the movie for themselves just yet will want to turn back now. The movie concludes with Peter Parker, Tom Holland, swinging around with MJ, Zendaya, happily above the streets of New York City. The first post-credit scene picks up at the end of their rather interesting date. The two are having a nice moment on a crowded street when suddenly a breaking news story starts playing on the huge screen positioned above them in the NYC skyline. We come to realize this is a doctored video released by Mysterio, Jake Gyllenhaal, following their final encounter, which resulted in the villain meeting his demise. Or at least, it seemed that way. It's unclear whether or not Mysterio is somehow still alive, having possibly pulled another illusion over on Peter. Though that seems unlikely. If Mysterio is dead, he certainly got the best of Spidey in the end, as the video released makes it look like the hero actually killed Quentin Beck cold-bloodedly. What's more, the movie's big bad actually reveals Spider-Man's secret identity to the world in a rather shocking twist. This move by Mysterio also works in tarnishing Tony Stark's name and legacy, as he is cited as an accomplice of Peter Parker's alleged bad deeds. The scene ends with a zoom-in on Peter, who is, understandably, concerned. The best and most shocking part of this particular post-credit scene, however, is the unexpected return of J.K. Simmons as Daily Bugle head J. Jonah Jameson. Simmons played the role in Sam Raimi's original trilogy, and director John Watts managed to convince him to come back to reprise the role in the MCU. However, this time around, Jameson is portrayed as a member of the conservative media with extreme viewpoints who hosts an online news show, very similar to Alex Jones in InfoWars. But the character's disdain for Spider-Man is present as ever. It's an unexpected surprise and a huge bit of fan service. So the big question, what does this all mean? Well, Tom Holland's Peter Parker hadn't exactly been great about keeping his identity secret in the first place, but this is on another level. The entire world now knows who he really is, and that puts literally everyone he knows in danger. Not to mention that they all think he's a murderer, as opposed to a hero. This sets the stage for an inevitable Spider-Man 3 that will be taking us to a place we've never seen within this franchise before. That much is certain. Beyond that, for now, we have far more questions than answers. Moving on, the second post-credit scene is equally huge. We see who we think to be Mariah Hill, Kobe Smulders, and Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson, riding along in a car on the road, when it's revealed that they are actually Skrulls. Specifically, Fury was being portrayed by Talos Ben Mendelsohn, who appeared in Captain Marvel earlier this year, with Hill being portrayed by one of his counterparts. They then make a call to Fury, who, at first, is seemingly on something of a vacation. Talos is still clearly friendly with Fury and was doing this as a favor. We come to find out that Fury is off-world somewhere in space on a gigantic space station. What's he up to? It's not yet clear, as the screen fades to black just as Fury is looking out into space. Again, we have few answers at this point, but we can take an educated guess or two. This could relate to the equally inevitable Captain Marvel 2. That much is clear. In a more broad sense, this could also be Nick Fury leading up to the formation of SWORD. For those who may not be familiar, in the pages of Marvel Comics, SWORD, Sentient World Observation and Response Department, is an organization operating in space, meant to deal with alien threats to Earth. A prevalent theme in Spider-Man: Far From Home was the world's fear of another alien attack. So this would make a great deal of sense. Not to overstate things, but taken as a pair, these could be the most impactful post-credit scenes in the MCU since Nick Fury showed up at the end of Iron Man. It's going to be particularly interesting to see how any future movies in the MCU deal with this fallout, assuming they arrive before Spider-Man 3 manages to get up and running. At the very least, it's a lot to process and sets up some major, potentially exciting plot threads for the future. Marvel certainly didn't pull any punches with this one.